You're probably familiar with Willie Geist from MSNBC's Up Way Too Early and, of course, Morning Joe. He's also been one of your network hosts over there at the London Olympics. And Willie joins us live right now from London. Hey, Willie, how are you?
I'm doing all right, Glenn. How are you? I love that Dan tells you he's on assignment in London. If by on assignment you mean pounding, rifling down pints of Guinness and just screaming at interns, that's what he's doing over here, just so you know.
Well, you know what? Some people have different ways of preparing for their broadcast. Now, you might have a different technique than Dan. I don't know. You know,
and listen, look how far it's gotten him. He seems to be doing all right. So who am I to doubt him?
There you go. See that? And by the way, have you noticed his suits? I mean, looking really slick this week too. He had purple on purple yesterday. I mean, that's a secure man right there. It is. There's no question.
We are mannequins. We are props. There's a wardrobe department here. You walk in your T-shirt and your jeans, and a nice woman who knows much more about fashion than any of us just throws a suit on you, and then they push you out on TV. It's kind of how it works.
So wait a minute. You're not back here in New York like being fitted for suits and stuff. They actually do the stuff for you. This is not out of your own closet.
No.
Really?
It's the beauty of the Olympic Games. It's, when you host a 5:30 a.m. cable news show, there's not a big wardrobe department unless you mean my closet where I have 2 suits that I got in college. But here they actually give you a couple suits. It's nice.
Do you take them home with you? You get a little swag bag on the way out? No.
Well, let's just say I've been sneaking a few out of the Olympics center here.
Good for you. What I mean? Hey, you were at the fixed badminton the other night, right?
Oh, man. Yeah, the bad 2 words we never thought we'd hear together, the badminton scandal.
So what happened?
I mean, I don't know if you saw the video, but there was a team from China and a team from Korea,
right,
and they were both trying to throw the badminton match. So if you looked at the video, they were slowly underhand hitting it into the net, and then they'd pass the shuttle to the other side, and they would slowly hit it into the other net. They were both trying to avoid a Chinese team who I guess they weren't confident they could beat. So they had launched this investigation, and it turns out they were just really bad at throwing matches. You have to kind of make it look like you're trying. They didn't even try, and they all got thrown out of the Olympic Games. So backfired, maybe a lesson to kids. It turns out you can't throw matches at the Olympics. Note to self.
That is unbelievable, you know?
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of conversation here with USA and Canada soccer from yesterday, in which it seems to me the analysts, those who know the sport far more better than I do, are claiming that Canada got the wrong deal. How's that playing over there?
Yeah, that seems to be the idea here. I'm not a crazy soccer fan, so like you, I deferred to people who know, and they said those were 2 horrendous calls. I guess the one where the goalie's holding the ball for 6 seconds is technically right, but that's like calling a 3-second violation in the last minute of Game 7 of the NBA Finals. You just hold on to the whistle. So that set up a penalty kick, free kick, and then that led to a handball, which was questionable too. So people who know the game tell you it was 2 horrendous calls, and Canada was not shy afterward talking about it. They said they got jobbed. They said the official might as well have been wearing an American jersey, not taking it well, our friends to the north.
How would it play out if it were reversed? If it were the USA that got jobbed, how do you think this would have played?
Totally different story. I think we would have had it overturned. That's the power of the United States of America. But we're just going to quietly put our head down and walk on to the next game, pretend it never happened.
All right, now I understand that you covered the USA-Nigeria game the other day, in which the USA won by 83 points, the men's basketball. Did you ever fear for the U.S. during the course of that game?
No, I didn't. My fear subsided when I saw Team Nigeria, with all due respect, run out onto the court. They did have matching uniforms, which I thought was a nice touch and some progress from some of their previous appearances. But I was seated next to the NBC statistician, and he began midway through I think at the first timeout, midway through the first quarter, looking for all the superlatives. Most points ever scored in an Olympic competition, biggest blowout in the history of organized sports. We had a sense it was going to be ugly, but not that ugly. 83 points, even hear you say it now, it's astounding.
What's bigger for you, Michael Phelps in these Olympics or Usain Bolt?
I got to tell you, I respect everything Michael Phelps has done over his career, but nothing touched Usain Bolt for pure electricity. It was like a heavyweight fight. I unfortunately wasn't in there. The ticket was so tough. There were 80,000 seats, but you couldn't get a ticket. One of the guys on the Dream Team, an NBA player, told me he couldn't get a ticket. He had to pay $2,500 to have some guy let him in so he could watch. But to me, that was one of those events where everybody stands, everybody's in silence before the race. and the guy delivers. 4 years of hype. They said he wasn't trained, he was injured, maybe he was down, and he's a guy who just walks out there and does it. He is a once-in-a-lifetime talent. It was amazing.
All right, you're a guy that's made a career out of satire. Tell me what has been the most bizarre, satirical thing you have seen so far in London.
That happened yesterday. A guy from the United States judo team who came in 7th place, didn't cost him a medal, but he tested positive for weed. And his explanation for it was yesterday. I don't know if you saw this kid guy from New Jersey said before he came over in New York, a woman, he didn't totally throw this person under the bus, he said a woman in his family cooked brownies without telling him they were pot brownies. So the way I'm looking at it, he's throwing his grandmother under the bus for her famous pot brownie recipe. Not cool, man.
Yeah, I was going to say when I first read that story, if the first details that came out claimed that there was a going away party, and the story that you just mentioned was the second part of the story, is that this one woman that he does know made the brownies, baked the brownies for him. Who's going to buy that? I mean, nobody bought that in college. Come on.
And then the other side of that, now they're calling me back to go on TV, so I have to go. I'm literally seated on the set watching this women's basketball game. Team USA is blowing out. But what exactly is the advantage that weed would give you in the Olympic Games? You know what I mean? Why is that even on the banned substances? Just to slow down your time a little bit?
It is not it is not a performance enhancing drug, and on top of that, 2 hours after the competition, you're hungry all over again.
Exactly, not a performance enhancer in my experience.
Willie, we'll let you get back to work. Thanks for spending a couple of minutes with us.
Glenn, I appreciate it. Take care, man.
See ya. That's Willie Geist, NBC Sports, live over there in London.